Official notice. Stop scrolling. Listen carefully. Be alert. How much is your old wheat penny really worth? Most people never find out because they spend it too fast. This coin could change your life. Don't ignore this. The truth is simple. Valuable coins are still moving through everyday circulation. That means rare pennies are still out there, hiding in plain sight. And right now, this message is for you. If there's a wheat penny anywhere near you and the date ends in a 3, do not spend it. I'm not joking. Because here's the reality. Wheat pennies don't look rare. They look old. They look worthless. That's the trap. Some rare wheat pennies, with the right details, have sold for over $40,000. Let that sink in. $40,000 for a single penny. And here's the part nobody wants you to realize. The less people understand this, the easier it is for collectors to pull valuable coins out of circulation without competition. So before you spend anything, check your pocket, check your wallet, check your change jar. Because the coin you ignore today could be worth thousands tomorrow. And this is just the beginning. From here, it only gets rarer, more intense, and more valuable. Stay with me until the end. This is Numismatic Vault Extra, USA, United States. And these coins change everything. Money bag. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with no mint mark, is one of those coins that quietly carries history in its copper body. A coin that looks simple yet invites imagination, mystery, and the powerful dream of hidden wealth. When you hold this penny, it may feel small and ordinary, but behind its worn surface lies a story of a nation rebuilding, growing, and moving forward after one of the most challenging periods in modern history. Many people believe this coin could be worth thousands or even $40,000, imagining it holds the power to change their life overnight. But the real story of this coin is far more meaningful and far more interesting than just a number. This coin was minted in 1952 at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. For many collectors, the absence of a mint mark feels mysterious. It's almost like a hidden secret. But in truth, during that time, Philadelphia coins were commonly produced without any mint mark at all. It was not an error, not a mistake, but simply the standard practice of the era. In that year, over 186 million of these coins were produced, making the 1952 no mint mark wheat penny widely available. This high production number is one of the most important facts to understand, because it explains why most of these coins are not rare in everyday condition. At the time, America was experiencing economic growth and expansion. Factories were busy, cities were growing, and coins like this penny were essential for daily transactions. These pennies moved through markets, shops, and pockets, becoming part of everyday life. Because they were used so heavily, many of them became worn, scratched, and faded over time. In average circulated condition today, a 1952 wheat penny without a mint mark is usually worth only a few cents to about $1, depending on how much detail remains. This is the reality that surprises many people who expect every old coin to be valuable. But here is where the story becomes more exciting, because while most of these coins are common, a small number are truly special, and these are the coins that give rise to the idea of hidden treasure. Condition is one of the most powerful factors in determining value. A coin that has been worn down by years of use will have little collector value, but a coin that has been preserved in near-perfect condition can be worth far more. Uncirculated 1952 pennies with bright red color, often called red coins, can reach values of $30 to $60 or more, and even higher for exceptional examples. These coins look almost untouched, with a shine that reflects their original state when they left the mint. And then we enter the world of rare high-grade coins. Some of the finest known 1952 wheat pennies have sold for thousands of dollars, with certain examples reaching nearly $9,000 at auction. This is where the dream of a $40,000 coin begins to feel possible, not for every coin, but for the rarest and most perfect ones. Another path to high value comes from mint errors. These are coins that were struck incorrectly during production, creating unique features that collectors find fascinating. For the 1952 penny, errors such as off-center strikes, double designs, or coins struck on the wrong metal can increase value dramatically. Some rare error coins from 1952 have been valued at hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how unusual and visible the error is. These are the coins that turn ordinary finds into exciting discoveries. One of the most unusual error types is a coin struck on a different planchet, such as a dime planchet. These coins are smaller and partially incomplete, and they can reach values of around $2,000 or more. This is the kind of rarity that fuels the imagination of collectors. But here is the truth that must be clearly understood. The vast majority of 1952 no-mint mark pennies are not worth thousands. The idea of becoming rich overnight from this coin is based on rare exceptions, not the typical coin. Even collectors in real life often say the same thing. No-mint mark common, worth a few cents. This may sound simple, but it reflects the honest reality of the coin market. Most coins are common, and only a few become valuable. Still, the excitement remains real, because every coin carries a possibility. Every coin could be the one that was saved in perfect condition, or the one that left the mint with a rare mistake. The copper composition of the coin also adds to its appeal. Made primarily of copper, it has a warm, rich color that changes over time. Some coins develop deep brown tones, while others retain hints of red and gold. The design itself adds to the coin's charm. Abraham Lincoln's calm and steady profile on the front represents leadership and history, while the wheat ears on the back symbolize growth and prosperity. Together, they create a design that has stood the test of time. Over the years, many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or worn down, reducing the number of high-quality examples. This is why well-preserved coins are more valuable today. Collectors continue to search for these pennies in old jars, collections, and even pocket change. The thrill of finding something valuable in an ordinary place is what makes coin collecting so exciting. If you ever find a 1952 wheat penny with no mint mark, don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look. Examine its condition, its color, and its details. Look for anything unusual that might set it apart. You may not have a $40,000 treasure, but you might have something just as powerful in a different way. A piece of history, a connection to the past, and a small chance at discovering something rare. Because in the end, the true value of this coin is not just in its price. It is in its story, its journey, and the quiet possibility that something small and ordinary can hold a hidden spark of greatness, waiting patiently to be discovered. Next up, coin. The 1954 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of those coins that seems quiet, simple, and easy to ignore, yet carries within it a deep sense of history, mystery, and possibility. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a small copper coin, something that might sit unnoticed in a jar or slip through your fingers without a second thought. But when you begin to understand its journey, its origins, and the rare potential hidden inside a few exceptional examples, this coin becomes something much more powerful, something that sparks imagination and the dream of unexpected fortune. This coin was minted in 1954 at the Denver Mint, which is why it carries the small D mint mark just below the date. It belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series, one of the longest-running and most beloved coin designs in American history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front and two wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing strength, growth, and prosperity. By 1954, this design had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades. It had witnessed wars, economic changes, and generations of Americans using it in their daily lives. This particular coin comes from a time when the United States was moving forward after World War II, entering a period of economic growth and industrial expansion. The Denver Mint produced over 251 million of these 1954 D pennies, making it one of the most common coins of that year. This large number is important because it explains why most of these coins are not rare. They were made in huge quantities and circulated widely, passing through countless hands. In everyday circulated condition, a 1954 D wheat penny is usually worth only a few cents above its face value, often around 3 to 15 cents, depending on condition. This is the reality that surprises many people who expect every old coin to be valuable. But the story becomes far more interesting when you look deeper, because while most of these coins are common, a very small number are truly exceptional, and these are the coins that give rise to stories of high value and even life-changing discoveries. Condition is one of the most powerful factors in determining value. A coin that has been used for years will show wear, scratches, and fading details. But a coin that has been preserved in near-perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, can be worth significantly more. Some high-grade 1954 D pennies have reached values of hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when they retain their original red copper color. These coins are rare because most pennies from that time were used heavily and lost their original shine. There are even more exciting possibilities when it comes to rare, top-level examples. While extremely uncommon, certain high-grade wheat pennies from 1954 have sold for impressive amounts. One exceptional 1954 penny without a mint mark reached over $31,000 at auction due to its near-perfect condition. This is where the idea of a $40,000 coin comes into the story. Not for the average coin, but for the rarest and most perfectly preserved examples. Another important factor is mint errors. These are coins that were struck incorrectly during production, creating unique features that collectors find fascinating. For the 1954 D penny, one of the most notable error types is the repunched mint mark, where the D appears doubled or shifted. These error coins can be worth significantly more than standard coins, sometimes reaching $50 to $500 or more, depending on the clarity of the error and the condition of the coin. This is where ordinary coins can become extraordinary. There are also other possible errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or coins struck on the wrong metal. While rare, these unusual features can increase value dramatically and attract strong interest from collectors. However, it is important to understand the truth clearly. The vast majority of 1954 D wheat pennies are not worth thousands of dollars. The dream of becoming rich overnight from this coin is based on rare exceptions, not the typical coin. Collectors often share this reality openly. Many people believe they have found a valuable coin, only to discover it is common. It's worth 3 to 5 cents, just another penny. This may sound simple, but it reflects the real market. Most coins are common, and only a few become valuable. Still, the excitement remains real, because every coin carries a possibility. Every coin could be the one that was preserved perfectly, or the one that left a mint with a rare and valuable error. The copper composition of the coin adds to its appeal. Unlike modern pennies, which are mostly zinc, the 1954 D penny is made primarily of copper, giving a rich color and a heavier feel. Over time, many of these coins develop beautiful tones, ranging from bright red to deep brown. The design itself also plays a role in its lasting popularity. Lincoln's portrait represents stability and leadership, while the wheat ears symbolize growth and prosperity. Together, they create a timeless image that continues to attract collectors. Over the years, many of these coins have been lost, worn down, or damaged, reducing the number of high-quality examples. This is why well-preserved coins are more valuable today. Collectors continue to search for these pennies in old collections, jars, and even pocket change. The thrill of discovery, the idea that something valuable could be hiding in plain sight, is what keeps the hobby alive. If you ever find a 1954 D wheat penny, don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, the condition, and the details. Look for anything unusual or unique. You may not have a $40,000 treasure, but you might have something just as meaningful in a different way. A piece of history, a connection to the past, and a small chance at discovering something rare. Because in the end, the true power of this coin is not just in its price. It is in its story, its journey, and the quiet possibility that something small and ordinary can hold a hidden spark of value, waiting patiently to be discovered. Next up, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is one of those coins that carries a quiet presence, but hides a powerful story within its copper surface. At first glance, it may seem like just another small coin, something easily overlooked in a handful of change. Yet behind that simple design lies decades of history, millions of journeys through people's hands, and a rare possibility that turns an ordinary penny into something extraordinary, something that collectors dream about and search for every single day. This coin was struck in 1956 at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. During that time, Coins from Philadelphia were typically produced without any identifying letter, making the absence of a mint mark completely normal and not an error. This small detail is important because many people believe a missing mint mark automatically means rarity, but in reality, it simply tells the story of where the coin was born. The design of the 1956 Wheat Penny is part of one of the most iconic coin series in American history. The front features the calm and determined face of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. These wheat ears symbolize growth, prosperity, and resilience, values that connect deeply with the era in which this coin was created. By 1956, the Wheat Penny series was nearing the end of its journey, as it would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. This gives the 1956 penny a special place in history, standing among the final years of a design that had already served the nation for nearly half a century. What makes this coin fascinating is the massive number that were produced. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 420 million of these pennies, making them widely available and common in circulation. Because of this, most 1956 no-mint mark pennies are not rare and are often found in collections, coin jars, and even old drawers. In typical circulated condition, these coins are usually worth only a few cents above their face value. Many sell for around 15 cents to $1, depending on condition, which reflects how common they are in the market. This is the reality that surprises many collectors who expect every old coin to carry a high price. But the true excitement begins when we move beyond the ordinary examples and enter the world of rare, high-grade coins. Because within those millions of pennies, a very small number survived in near-perfect condition. Coins that were never heavily used, never damaged, and somehow preserved with their original beauty intact. These high-grade coins, especially those with full red copper luster, can reach much higher values. A well-preserved mint-state example can be worth hundreds of dollars, and in rare cases, even more. The color plays a huge role. Coins labeled RD, red, are far more valuable than those that have turned brown over time. Now comes the part that captures imagination and fuels the dream of discovering hidden treasure. Some of the finest known examples of the 1956 no-mint mark Wheat Penny have sold for truly astonishing amounts. One exceptional coin graded at the very top level reached a price of $57,600 at auction, showing just how powerful condition and rarity can be. This is where the idea of a $40,000 coin becomes real, not for every coin, but for those extremely rare pieces that meet the highest standards of perfection. These coins are incredibly difficult to find, often existing in only a handful of known examples. Another factor that can turn a simple penny into a valuable treasure is mint error. Errors occur during the production process, creating unique features that collectors value highly. For the 1956 penny, important errors include double dies, where letters or numbers appear doubled, and off-center strikes that shift the design. These error coins can increase value dramatically, sometimes reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their clarity and condition. This is why careful examination of every detail on the coin is so important. However, it is essential to stay grounded in reality. The vast majority of 1956 wheat pennies are common and will not make anyone rich overnight. The stories of high-value coins are based on rare exceptions, not the typical coin found in circulation. Collectors often emphasize this truth clearly. Most 1956 pennies are worth only a few cents. This honest perspective helps separate real value from unrealistic expectations. Despite this, the excitement of coin collecting remains strong, because every coin holds a possibility. Every coin could be the one that escaped wear, the one that carries a rare error, or the one that reaches an unexpected value. The copper composition of the 1956 penny adds to its charm. Unlike modern pennies made mostly of zinc, this coin is primarily copper, giving it a rich tone and a satisfying weight. Over time, these coins develop unique colors, from bright red to deep brown, each telling a story of its journey. Collectors are drawn not only to value, but also to history. This coin represents a time of growth and change, a moment in history captured in metal. It passed through countless hands, witnessed everyday life, and became part of countless stories. If you ever find a 1956 wheat penny with no mint mark, take a moment to look closely. Check its condition, its color, and its details. Look for sharp lines, clean surfaces, and any unusual features. You may not have a $40,000 coin, but you might have something meaningful in another way. A connection to the past, a piece of history, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest stories. Because in the world of coins, value is not just about money. It is about rarity, history, and the quiet thrill of discovery. The idea that something small, simple, and often ignored could carry within it the power to surprise you when you least expect it.